Are the same. I use biscuits.
Technique is the same.
The technique's the same because this is just add water. Okay. I don't want to add oil. I don't want to add egg. So I just went and bought the kind that you will have. You'll probably use two of the containers, and that'll take care of all the biscuits.
Yeah.
Biscuits for the day.
They're in a little pouch.
And I would probably give you a little flour, a little extra flour. If you just take them when you make up the balls, you know.
So we're
there
gonna
are
need like a
instructions
mixing
in there,
bowl
right?
then or something? Or
Okay,
I guess
I'm
we-
sorry?
So we need a bowl or something to
That's
mix
up to
this
you.
stuff up?
You can use you can use this
Use that
still,
stock
right?
pot.
But it's up to you if you want to bring an extra bowl or not. I'm telling you, you don't have to. Okay.
Alright, the directions for the biscuits are mix 2 packages of Bisquick into a mixing bowl, then add water as required on the package. Make dough balls and flatten slightly.
There you go. And that's all there is to this. And you're going to on these biscuits. What works really pretty good. Sister Embry she was amazing at this actually. She would take just a touch of flour and just pat a little flour around in this, and it would keep the balls from. Yeah. Just remember, you don't want your balls too much water because then they're just like, yeah, then it's blah, and then it really is that. One of the meals you're going to cook is going to be, this will be stew. You'll take 2 of these and you'll put stew, so much stew, not really deep, just because there's really specific instructions. There's a stew in here, and then you're going to take those biscuits and make them, and then you're going to stack the biscuits in there.
On top
And then,
of
So it is a dumpling.
well,
No,
It'll be like a
it's cooked
pot
in a
pie.
different.
Oh, it's got that foil between it?
No.
No.
Just think if this was stew in here,
Uh-huh.
okay,
Oh,
just
yes,
like,
it is.
and that's just a canned stew,
Right.
and you put that in there, you heat it up, and after it gets a little warm, hot, then you take your
the dough balls.
your dough that you've already
Stick
made,
it right on top of the stew.
and right, and just
Okay.
put it
That's a
on top.
dumpling.
You don't mix
Okay.
it in,
Yeah.
okay, and then those will brown up, and then you just scoop it out with.
That's a
the-
New England dumpling.
Okay.
Not a southern
And
dumpling.
then that's and you'll have 2 Dutch ovens of that because you don't want this much stew and this much biscuits. So that's exactly why you need 2 Dutch ovens. Okay. So right now you got some free time, or for some additional instruction, and then about the time this gets about 15 minutes away, we'll get this ready.
How do you know when it's 15 minutes away?
About how the potatoes,
Yeah.
You know
how
that?
soft the
Okay.
potatoes are.
Okay.
Because if you cook it so far that the potatoes are just
Falling
mush,
apart.
and then it will be just
Cream of potato soup.
cream
Yes.
of potato soup.
Which
Yeah,
is
exactly.
still edible.
It's
Which is still
fine.
edible.
Okay, we tested the potatoes and we think we're about 15 minutes out. Turns out we're right at the 50-minute mark. We're going to go ahead and cut the pre-prepared bacon and ladle off the stock and put the bacon in and add the cheese. And in the meantime, we've been mixing the dough for our biscuits, and last we're going to add that half and half to make it creamy.
Sorry.
At the sleeping site, our destination sites.
Just don't burn the bottom. Keep the bottom
Okay,
straight.
what do we do with the biscuit stuff here?
Okay, make them into balls. Here's how you do biscuits. Okay, while you're working on that. Okay, to cook the whole goal is not to burn your biscuits. Okay, so I came up with a design that will keep you from burning your biscuits.
Are you gonna have aluminum foil there, or do we need to bring some?
I'm gonna give you aluminum foil. Okay, because it's part of the cooking. If it's really, really key part of the cooking, I'm gonna provide it. And so if you just crunch this up, okay, and then unfold it, okay. Okay, and now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put that in the bottom of this Dutch oven, okay. And I'm not gonna smash it hard flat, okay. And I'm gonna do this twice.
Doesn't matter which side up.
No, it doesn't matter at all.
Really just creating an insulator.
Yeah, that's all I'm doing. Because I don't want my biscuits on the bottom. I could, but it's harder to cook. You'll have more success on the biscuits if you do this. Okay.
I must have been getting hungry right about now because I get distracted with the biscuits being made. I wish I'd have finished taping Mark with that tin foil. He takes that second piece of tin foil and crushes it down on the first, and then he takes the whole thing and flips it over and uses the bottom of the Dutch oven to kind of form the overall shape of it. It creates an insulator so you don't end up burning your biscuits.
I'm gonna do it just like that, and now I'm actually ready to start putting biscuits on.
You just go up
This is really about cushioning. I kind of explained how to do this in the instructions, but it's just so much easier to see it.
Right. Can I lift this and stir?
Yes. Yes, and there's a lid right here to keep that dirt off the bottom of the lid. Okay.
That's a good tip. Because I probably would have just put it straight on the ground.
Oh yeah, then you get dirt in your food.
Hadn't even thought about it.
What they're talking about is you just set that lid down on a lid rest, which keeps that underside of the lid from touching the ground and getting in the dirt. Which, of course, if you put back on, you end up with dirt in your food. So you might want to get yourself a lid rest. It's a pretty good idea.
Otherwise, what happens? It will stick. It will stick to that.
Mark was just explaining if you'll use some flour on your biscuits, you'll keep them from sticking, in addition to that insulator. Here you get to see that lid rest. There it is.
That actually works to keep it off here as well. It won't, if you got this little pack, so
a layer of flour on the bottom.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Yeah, and that's what the Ziploc baggie is going to be for, just flour. If you just have a little surface, you just plop and plop on both sides of this before you put it in. That will take the place of your oil.
All the biscuits have been rolled and loaded into the Dutch oven, which is put on top of the bottom Dutch oven, and then more coals put on top of that Dutch oven. You should have biscuits in about 20 minutes.
Is it possible to put too many coals on?
Yes. Remember, the rule is you want to cook from the top.
This is about 6 minutes later. And here we are 13 minutes later. Each time we'd check on those biscuits, we'd pull off that top Dutch oven, open up the bottom Dutch oven, and make sure we didn't have anything burning or sticking to the bottom by stirring things up. Here we've got Mark adding the last few spices before we get things finished up and ready to eat. Biscuits are golden brown and ready to eat right at 20 minutes. All cooking time took about an hour and a half plus 20 minutes of prep time. Look forward to seeing you on the track. Hope this helped.